Good morning.
It was nice that we start today a little earlier. I think I enjoyed it. The reason to get up.
It's a beautiful morning. I like the mist and the whole thing.
Yeah, I think it's always nice when you have a reason, like I got to get up, be somewhere on time, purpose. Tell me about the first time you met Grandmaster G.
Well, this is, I think, 1983 or 84. I was already a black belt, and I had already done the Panther videos,
right,
on the whole on the Hapkido and stuff. But I wanted to further my education, so I heard that Grandmaster Ji Han-jae, which is the highest ranking in Hapkido, is here from Korea, and so I wanted to get in touch with him. So I called him. He was in Daly City back there. You know, he had a dojo. Called him. I said, I'm, black belt to Hapkido. I want to further my education. I want to come and take a couple lessons with you if it's possible. And he said, great. Let's set a time. You come, you drive up and you have your lesson. And I said, okay, that's great. But I'll fly because in San Francisco it's only like an hour. He goes, no, you drive. Right. And I said, okay, I'll drive. So it took 8 hours, drove over there. My first lesson with him. And I was kind of nervous, kind of walked in, changed my uniform, warmed up a little bit. He came out, pretty broken English, He said, show me a psychic. And I did a psychic, and he said, oh, your toes are up.
Oh. And
I said, oh, I know. And so he turned around and looked at me kind of with this look like, oh, then if you know, you don't need me. And bowed, and that was the end of the lesson.
Like left?
I left him out. And I said, wait a minute, I paid for an hour,
and you drove up there.
And I kind of, looking back at it, and because I do that often. I used to do a lot more. When you make comments, like you just say, especially to a senior or a teacher, and so anyway, so I changed and I drove back, and for the first, 3-4 hours, I kind of cussed him out. And
yeah, were you at the time? Were you mad?
I was. I didn't get it.
Honestly, right?
But thinking about it, I said, "Oh my God, I shouldn't have made that comment." Because I am in front of a teacher, and saying something kind of stupid, like I know. He's kind of arrogant, and. So anyway, that was, now I know why he wanted me to drive. Anyway, I got back, called him back, apologized, and set a time for another time to go in and take lessons with him. I made sure never say that again. But Ji Han-jae, I really think I had the best of him, selfishly. Because for like good 3 years, I used to see him once for a weekend. One weekend every month. So imagine 3 years in a row where he would come here on a Friday morning, go back Sunday night, and he would stay with me.
Right.
And so he was an experimental teacher. Like he wouldn't just lecture versus English wasn't that good. So he would put me in situations where I would, understand these lessons.
Right.
And so he was really good in that. And that was a great way for me to learn.
Right.
Because he had me literally experience these lessons, and I know saying I know or making a comment was a big thing, and to this date I'm really aware of when I'm talking to someone about what comes out of my mouth.
To flip that a little bit, maybe you mean this too, but he also, in a sense, a flippant comment maybe, but also a sense of respect to you, and you could say like, well, if you know it, then sincerely you don't need me.
Yeah.
Like if you think you know it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I don't think that was his goal. His goal was, you're arrogant, which I'm strong enough to kind of admit that I was, because here I am found, I made these tapes and all them, whatever. And he just wanted to kind of make sure to let me know that there's more than just, doing hand techniques and kicks and stuff, and that was his first lesson in character building, which unfortunately later on he stopped because he thought our culture is not ready for that, and he just went just to techniques, or he thought it's all about certificates. People just want black belts. People just want to say they're what degree they are. They don't care about the character building. So he kind of stopped, which is really sad.
Right.
But I miss that about him. That's why I always think I really had the best of him.
Right.
In doing that little time that we had together. And I know is one of the lessons that I really got to my heart with him.
Yeah, beyond the kicks, beyond that, the character building.
Absolutely. So the life is not just on the mat. It's actually outside the mat. He was one of the first people who said this. He used to always say it in Korean, which I never understood. But later on, I understood what he meant is that, the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Right.
Right, so you got to make sure you got to be aware of what comes out of your mouth, your comments, anything that you say, and I still work on that daily. I don't think I've got it to that point that I can say I really got it, but
right.
I don't. But I try to be aware of it.